Hello, everyone. It is lovely for you to come here, I suppose. My name is Jazz of the Spaz, and I'm going to go ahead and do a little intro so you can understand what I'm doing here on my channel. I am reading fan fictions, and as you can see by the adorable picture on my phone, I have a cat. The reason this idea came to be is because I was playing with said cat and she got a little irritated with me and she used her cute little paw to smack me in the eye. And because of that, I spent 5.5 days not able to see or look at my phone at all. And I am a avid fan fiction reader, so this was a special punishment for me. It was very difficult to get through that. So, right when I was able to see again, I went ahead and messaged my favorite author, who is Dark Petal 16, and I asked her if she would mind if I narrated her stories. And of course, being the awesome person she is, she gave me full permission, and that is what we are doing here today. We are reading. So, my first story choice is How to Obtain a Reverse Harem in Naruto by Dark Petal 16. I chose this story because I had read her original story, Sakura, and it was wonderful. It really was. It made me laugh a lot. It was a really good story. But she went ahead and pretty much revamped it and changed the name. And I do have to say, this How to Obtain a Reverse Harem in Naruto completely blows Sakura out of the water. The writing is on point, the character development, it's a wonderful story. It is a parody. It's not meant to be taken seriously, even though there are very serious moments in it. If you do not like perverseness or swearing, I would probably suggest that you turn back now. Don't watch this video because it will have a lot of both. And I guess that's all I have to say for introducing myself, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, her beta is Solar Cupid, and that cover art is drawn by Cantrona. We're gonna zoom in on that to appreciate the beauty. Ah, it's wonderful. I had signed my death warrant the moment I stepped onto that street. It honestly wasn't my fault. Well, mostly. A quick glance left and right showed an empty street. Well, at least empty from my point of view. I didn't take into account how the right side of the street curved sharply at a right angle and then disappeared from view. I crossed the street at a sedate pace, my spatial awareness non-existent. I was debating whether to rewatch all of Naruto or to simply start at Shippuden, a very important decision, as I'm sure you'd understand. Beep! Jolted back into reality, I snapped my head towards the noise. Racing at speeds many miles past the limit was a white semi-truck. Although it was a narrow street, I could have possibly, maybe have jumped out of the way, but all I could think of was, God fucking damn it. Instead, I froze. I just stood there like a deer in the headlights, trapped in a paralyzed state of fear, unable to move a muscle. My mind was repeating the same mantra like a broken record. Oh my God. Fuck. Shit. Damn it. Fuck my life. Next thing I knew, the 2-ton truck slammed into me, and all I could feel was pain. So much pain. It was everywhere. Bones breaking, blood boiling, skin burning, organs rupturing, lungs drowning. Being set on fire would have been a walk in the park compared to this. Just when I thought the pain could not get any worse, a white-hot burning sensation crawled across my neck. My thoughts were cut off as my consciousness couldn't process the overwhelming intake of signals erupting from my neck. and just like that, the pain was over. Finding out that you're a transparent, shapeless mass floating 10 feet in the air staring at the scene of your death is certainly a jarring experience. The truck driver had slammed down on his brakes, bringing the truck to a shuddering halt. He threw open his door and rushed towards where my body lay, which brought my attention to the gruesome scene before me. I had been reduced to roadkill, headless roadkill. To say that there was blood was an understatement. My body was literally swimming in its own pool of it. The front of the truck was covered in the stuff as well. I felt for the poor person who had to clean it off. Then there was the matter of my head, or lack of thereof. I took a closer look at what used to be my head. Well, damn, I thought. Who's going to wash the dishes now? I'd like to say that I was perfectly normal and my thought processes were only shot due to the fact that I was in shock. I'd like to say that, really. But if I'm going to be honest, then I guess you could say I am a little special. Okay, now on to my next dilemma. Why the hell am I still here? I was 100% sure that it is absolutely impossible to survive without a head, and at that moment I spied with my little eye one decapitated body with its former head definitely not attached to said body. Where is the white light? The tunnel? I don't know, Grim Reaper? I mused. There are so many different possibilities as to what could occur after death. Heaven, hell, limbo, reincarnation, rebirth, or even nothing at all, just ceasing to exist entirely. I could easily accept all of those options, even the latter, but remaining on Earth as a disembodied spirit would just be depressing and lonely. I refuse to be some kind of lingering ghost, you hear me? I scowled. I had no clue why I tried to speak, nor who I had tried speaking to. As the words left my mouth, which was rather odd given the fact that I no longer had a mouth, I felt a strange tingling sensation wash over me. For the second time today, I found myself paralyzed, though not by fear this time. It felt as though a supernatural force was holding me rigidly in place. The surreal sensation which had now permeated my entire body had abruptly intensified to a point where it was beyond extraordinarily painful. Unable to focus upon anything other than the absolute pain invading my senses, I was only dimly aware as the world around me disappeared in a vicious swirl of color. Waking up from a nightmare was always an arduous ordeal, heart pounding, breathing heavy, sweat dripping, clothes confining. That harrowing feeling of being unable to discern the difference between fantasy and reality. It led to the irresistible urge to search for familiar surroundings to reacquaint and reorganize myself. My eyes fluttered open and I sat up on a soft bed. Impossibly bright light flooded my senses and I reflexively flinched away from it. There was a distant ringing in my ears and my mind was vaguely fuzzy. For several moments I remained stationary, attempting to adjust. When the light wasn't as piercing through my closed lids and my mind clearer, I decided to open my eyes. After taking in my surroundings, I slapped myself hard on my right cheek, then again on my left cheek. The slaps left my face stinging like I face planted it into a pile of needles. But this has to be a nightmare, right? Because in no way, shape, or form was I in my bedroom. Gone were my familiar cool gray walls covered with pictures and posters. In their place was an eggshell white wall with little drawings of cherry blossoms. My once blue bed carpet had been taken over by a shameless baby soft pink. All of my furniture was interchanged with adorable, cutesy, entirely too feminine objects and colors. My heart hammered inside of my chest, and my hands flew up in a vain attempt to suppress my startled shriek. The movement caused a few loose bangs to cover my eyes. A pause. Why is my hair pink? Slowly, with great care and reluctance, I pulled my hair forward, which was somehow a foot longer and no longer curly, and examined it. This is not my hair, I realized. What the hell? Confused, frightened, and frustrated, I threw off the covers from my bed and stormed across the room. My hands itched to hold my Kasami and Kakashi plushies, as I normally did when I felt anxious, but they were nowhere to be found. When I reached the end of the room, I grabbed an elegant mirror that stood on a wooden white desk. I gaped upon seeing my reflection. Pink hair, green eyes, pale skin, long hair. Holy sweet berry-lovin' Mew, I'm Sakura? I stared at her, at me, in utter dumbfoundment. So, I thought slowly, I somehow died and reincarnated into Sakura? Another pause. Aw, man, I wanted to be Hinata. And that ends the first chapter of How to Obtain a Reverse Harem in Naruto. Hope to see you in the next chapter. Thank you.